Days of Our Lives Spoilers. 2 episodes, airing on Wednesday, April 23rd, and Thursday, April 24th. Bring with them a mix of heartbreak, nostalgia, and long-awaited confrontations. Wednesday, April 23rd. Anger, longing, and the price of the past in episode 173 of the show's 60th season. We open with Gabby struggling under the weight of betrayal. Frustrated and still nursing wounds from recent heartbreaks, she vents to Javi and Leo. Her emotions are raw and unfiltered, as the pain she carries threatens to erupt in every interaction. Her trust has been broken once again, and now she stands at a crossroads. Should she seek closure, or plunge deeper into the chaos? As the town gathers for the much-anticipated hospital fundraiser at Horton Town Square, emotions run high. Gabby, still distant from JJ, clutches her auction paddle tightly as if it's a weapon. And perhaps it is because when a coveted item comes up, she places a bold $10,000 bid. It's unclear whether she wants the item or just wants to make a statement. What is certain is that the air around her crackles with tension. Elsewhere at the event, Chad finds himself in a complicated emotional space. Watching Kat engage with his children, Thomas and Charlotte, stirs something in him. Something that surprises him as much as it unsettles him. There's a tenderness in the way Kat interacts with his kids, a warmth that tugs at his guarded heart. But Chad is a man still grieving, still wrestling with the ghosts of his past. And though the chemistry between him and Kat is undeniable, he suddenly pulls back. It's too soon, he murmurs to himself, a sentiment that feels foreign yet right. Meanwhile, the fundraiser takes on an unexpectedly playful turn with a bachelorette auction hosted by Kayla. The crowd buzzes with laughter and lighthearted teasing as Stephanie raises her paddle, her eyes locked on Alex. But even in the midst of such amusement, something darker stirs beneath the surface. The drama reaches a comedic high when Xander engages in a mock sword fight with Philip. It's the kind of whimsical moment that Salem residents cherish, a reminder that laughter still has a place amid the turmoil. But things take an even more unexpected turn when, seemingly without warning, Xander removes his shirt. Sarah, half concerned and half amused, asks if he's cold. Xander brushes it off, though his face betrays the discomfort of being exposed emotionally more than physically. And yet, the moment lands as one of levity, a welcome reprieve from the growing emotional storms. Thursday, April 24th, compassion, confrontations, and a secret that could shatter lives. As Thursday's episode, number 174, unfolds, we shift to deeper emotional terrain. Chad remains stuck between two worlds, the aching pull of grief and the uncertain hope of new love. The realization hits him like a wave. No matter how alive Kat makes him feel, he's not ready to move on. And so he stops himself, mid-step, mid-sentence, mid-feeling. "I can't do this," he says quietly. The words are painful but necessary. It's a moment of truth, a quiet, heartbreaking epiphany. Meanwhile, Maggie, a woman known for her steady wisdom and enduring grace, takes it upon herself to be the voice of reason and compassion. Her conversation with Sarah the week before still weighs on her heart. She fears that if something doesn't change, Sarah's marriage could unravel before her very eyes. She pleads with Xander to show kindness, not just to those he loves, but especially to those who have wronged him. In particular, Maggie's words point toward Philip, whose actions may have bruised egos and tested loyalties, but who also carries his own burden of regret. Kate is another shadow in this dynamic, her presence as complicated as ever. But Maggie sees what others don't. The exhaustion in Philip's eyes, the remorse in his tone. She believes redemption is possible, but only if forgiveness walks in first. As tensions mount, JJ clings to hope that he can repair what's broken with Gabby. But reconciliation won't come easy. Their exchanges are laced with unresolved anger and unspoken pain. Gabby is not ready to forgive, and JJ, though sincere, may not yet understand the depth of her hurt. Their journey will not be a straight path, and this episode makes that painfully clear. In another corner of Salem, something darker begins to take shape. Kristen watches EJ carefully. Since his wake, something has shifted in him. His behavior is off, subtle but chilling. Kristen, always attuned to deception, senses it immediately. And at the carnival event, a new thread of the mystery begins to unravel with the debut of young Rachel. Rachel's return marks more than just a casting change. It signals the beginning of revelations tied to EJ's shooting. Was Rachel a witness? A pawn? A secret keeper? The carnival's bright lights and cheerful music can't disguise the undercurrent of danger swirling around her presence. There's a secret in Salem, and it may be Rachel, small and unassuming, who holds the key. As the townspeople laugh, bid, flirt, and clash, the undercurrents of the past begin to rise. The fundraiser, intended as a celebration, becomes a stage for unresolved pain and hidden truths. And for many in Salem, these 2 days will mark the beginning of choices that will ripple through every relationship they hold dear. Looking ahead, Days of Our Lives continues to remind us that even the most joyous occasions can become battlegrounds of the heart. With laughter comes longing, with connection comes confrontation. As we watch Chad wrestle with love and grief, Maggie advocate for peace, and Kristen circle a secret too dangerous to name, we're reminded of the simple truth at the heart of this enduring drama. Wednesday's episode of Days of Our Lives opens with a bang, quite literally in Gabi's mind, as she marches through the front door of her little apartment over Julie's place with a glare sharp enough to slice through marble. After weeks away on urgent business, she is home in Salem once more, suitcase in hand and fury in her eyes. The minute the latch clicks behind her, the rant begins. For viewers who sometimes struggle to keep track of who wronged whom, relax, Wednesday's hour lays everything out in plain English. Why is Gabi so angry? First, the obvious, she has just been branded the would-be assassin of EJ DiMera, who was shot on the DiMera mansion terrace several nights ago. Gabi admits loudly and often that she was at the house that night. She had slipped in through the garden, hoping to collect proof that Stefan was siphoning DiMera funds into a private account. She swears she never fired a gun. Yet Salem's most unconventional spiritual guide, Susan Banks, has trained her psychic sights on Gabi and is now shouting from every rooftop that Gabi pulled the trigger. For Gabi, it feels like déjà vu. Years ago, she served time for a murder she didn't commit. The thought of being dragged through that nightmare again makes her stomach churn. She tosses her coat across a chair, paces the tiny living room, and vents to anyone within earshot, chiefly Leo Stark and her quick-witted cousin Javi Hernandez, who have dropped by with takeout and moral support. Leo tries light sarcasm to calm her. Javi offers a robust defense plan. Both end up dodging pillows as Gabi's frustration boils over. Susan's chilling vision across town. Susan Banks kneels on the worn carpet of her bedroom, candles flickering in a semicircle around an old photograph of EJ. Her voice quivers as she recounts the vision that woke her before dawn, Gabi, cloaked in shadows, standing over EJ with a smoking gun. Whether the sight was prophecy, memory, or fear-fueled dream is unclear even to Susan, yet she clings to it with fierce certainty. Within minutes, she is on the phone to the Salem Police Department and anyone else who will listen, determined to see Gabi behind bars. Susan's crusade carries weight. Many in Salem still remember that her psychic flashes once saved Marlena's life. Still, there is a nagging question: if her vision is so clear, why can she not describe the shooter's face in detail? Why does she forget whether the gun was silver or black? Those tiny cracks of doubt serve as the episode's quiet drumbeat, reminding us that truth in Salem is never simple. EJ's blank slate and a widening mystery. Meanwhile, EJ himself sits upright in a sturdy hospital bed, bandage fresh across his shoulder. The bullet that tore through him missed every vital organ, but it erased the minutes before the attack. He recalls walking onto the terrace to enjoy a nightcap. He remembers the wind rustling the ivy. Then a blank. Friends and family coax him gently, hoping a sound or scent will kindle his memory. Nothing. He closes his eyes, trying to force a flashback. But there is only darkness and a dull ache where knowledge ought to be. The Salem PD has recovered a single .38 caliber shell casing. No fingerprints. No traceable serial number. Surveillance cameras malfunctioned for 12 crucial minutes. Human tampering, not bad wiring. All signs point to an inside job, but whose inside is still up for debate. Detectives question staff, sweep the mansion, and yet the puzzle pieces refuse to lock. Gabi versus JJ. Love soured into suspicion back at the apartment. The door swings open once more. JJ Devereaux steps in, cheeks flushed from the cold and from unresolved feelings. He and Gabi parted ways after a painful argument days earlier, an argument now magnified by Susan's accusations. JJ, ever the ex-cop, wants answers. Gabi, raw from hours of self-defense, snaps that she owes him nothing. Words fly. Old affection mixes with fresh hurt. For a heartbeat the room holds its breath, wondering if they will kiss or fight. Pride wins. JJ pulls back, mutters an apology neither of them believes, and storms out. Sold to the lady in the front row for $10,000. Night falls and Salem University Hospital's annual bachelor auction transforms the Horton Town Square into a twinkle-lit ballroom. Each eligible gentleman steps onto the makeshift catwalk to spirited applause. The money raised funds the children's wing, so wallets open wide, but no one expects the fireworks Gabby is about to ignite. Alex Kyriakis saunters onto the stage in a tailored tuxedo, dimples flashing, auction paddle clutched tight by every hopeful admirer. Bids leapfrog from 500 to 2,000, then stall. The auctioneer calls once, twice, when suddenly Gabby's voice slices through the chatter. 10,000! A gasp ripples across the crowd. Phones snap up, reporters scribble, JJ, working event security, nearly drops his clipboard. Alex arches a brow, intrigued and faintly alarmed. Gabby lifts her chin, gaze fixed on JJ rather than Alex. It is a message as clear as church bells. I am nobody's victim, and I'll prove it in diamonds if I must. The gavel drops. Cameras flash. Somewhere in the back Susan Banks whispers that the guilty often flaunt their guilt, but even she looks shaken by the sheer audacity of that bid. The fallout begins within minutes. Salem's gossip mill churns furiously. Is Gabby romantically interested in Alex, or is this elaborate theater designed to torment JJ? Does she hope proximity to a powerful Kyriakis cousin will buy her legal clout in case the police come knocking? Or is she simply a desperate soul clinging to the loudest distraction she can afford? JJ's reaction is immediate, jaw tight, fists clenched. He forces himself to smile for the benefit of onlookers, but viewers at home can practically hear his heart crack. Later, when Alex escorts Gabby to the dance floor for the ritual first waltz, the tension is thick enough to stall music. Alex tries polite small talk. Gabby responds with bright, almost brittle cheer, her mind clearly 2 steps ahead, calculating which public gesture will sting JJ the most. Behind the scenes, new pens at the helm. Longtime fans may notice a subtle shift in pacing and dialogue this Wednesday. Paula Quickly and Jean Marie Ford, who stepped into the co-head writer chairs last July, have crafted today's script with an eye for vintage soap grandeur, longer monologues, slow-burn mysteries, and emotional beats that linger just long enough for older viewers to savor. If the Bachelor auction sequence feels reminiscent of the iconic 1990s charity galas, that is no accident. The new writing duo has vowed to reclaim the show's classic sparkle while honoring modern sensibilities. Judging by Wednesday's blend of suspense, romance, and family intrigue, they are off to a confident start. What happens next? By the time the episode fades to credits, questions hang heavier than Salem's spring fog. Will EJ's memory return in time to clear or condemn Gabby? Can JJ see past jealousy to the woman he once trusted with his life? Is Susan's vision misguided intuition, or the key to a deeper conspiracy within DiMera walls? And how will Alex navigate the sudden spotlight as the most expensive bachelor in auction history? One thing is certain. Wednesday's hour ends not with tidy resolution, but with open doors and trembling hearts, inviting viewers of every generation, especially those who still relish a grand soap cliffhanger, to tune in tomorrow. In Salem, the truth may be elusive, but the drama is always guaranteed. Stay seated, keep the remote nearby, and, as ever, let the sands in the hourglass remind us that while time moves steadily forward, days of our lives remains gloriously unpredictable. In Salem, no moment is ever truly simple, and every choice has consequences.